So good evening. I am Dr. Marcia Stokes. I am currently the Acting Superintendent and Chief Financial Officer of Harrisburg School District. With me is Dr. Francis Echevarria, the Principal of Steele Elementary School. We would like to extend a heartfelt welcome to you and thank you all for joining us in this celebration of the reopening of Steele Elementary School.
I'm a little under the weather, and I have this tiny voice even with the microphone. But I wanted to welcome all of you. I wanted to extend a heartfelt gratitude just because I get to be with your students every single day. And more than an honor, that is truly a privilege. I thank you for being a village for your students and partnering with me to ensure that their success. Bienvenidos todos. Le doy unas gracias por venir y por celebrar esta ocasión tan bonita. Más que un honor, es un privilegio ser la directora de esta escuela y estoy muy feliz que juntos vamos a asegurarnos que tengamos éxito para todos nuestros estudiantes. Muchas gracias y bienvenidos. Welcome.
Now, if you will all please join me in welcoming our NJROTC Cadets in the presentation of colors, followed by the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hope, left, face, freezing, color.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carrying colors. Ready. Cut. Right. Face. Forward. March. Order. Hold. Order. Cut. Ready. Cut. Cut away. Voila.
Between 2011 and 2024, this neighborhood contained a shuttered elementary school, a school that no longer was welcoming students and staff. It was instead one that continued to deteriorate as the years passed. Today, we are gathered together to celebrate revitalization. A revitalization of not only the school building itself, but also revitalization of the educational opportunity and pride of this community. Although we are here to see and celebrate this wonderful transformation in this beautiful learning space, what is even more exciting is the opportunities that this provides our current and future students. As the state-of-the-art as this building is, it is the people working within these walls that make it special. Our students deserve nothing but the best educational experiences and opportunities, and bringing back this neighborhood school will help ensure the students of Uptown get an amazing start to their educational journey. Steele Elementary has provided the foundation for leaders in our community, some who have joined us here today. It has been a joy to hear their fond memories of former Steele Elementary students from their time here. I cannot wait to see the future leaders of our community that get their start here at Steele Elementary once again. It took a village to create this space. From the Harrisburg School District, many team members contributed to the design and completion of this project. I would like to take an opportunity to recognize some of those team members who are with us today. From our operations team, Mr. Reedy, Mr. Glass, and Mr. Nornhold. Our entire IT team went above and beyond to ensure that this building was connected to our network and that all of our classrooms were set up with the technology needed for instruction. Our facilities team worked tirelessly to get this space ready for students against a very tight schedule. I would also like to recognize the Steele team who are with us today throughout these spaces. These leaders, teachers, and staff are what make this building come alive each and every day. We appreciate all of the Harrisburg team members and partners who have worked so hard to get us to where we are today. We truly appreciate all of you. Steele Elementary will be a long-standing reminder of what can come from seizing the opportunity to make a lasting impact on this city's educational landscape. It is out of a pandemic full of tragedy that we can see a bright future for our students and the city. Let us all stay united in keeping our focus on our students and continuing to support them in every way possible. Now I would like to welcome Dr. Lori Suski, our coin-appointed receiver, to make her remarks.
Good afternoon. As I was preparing my remarks for this afternoon, the word that continually replayed in my mind was new, N-E-W. Only 3 letters comprise this short word, but it is a word that holds incredible promise and an element of excitement. A new day, a new opportunity, a new beginning. We are standing here today on the first day of a new month in a newly revitalized elementary school with a new principal, many new teachers, welcoming new students and families to this new school year. Everything about Steele School is fresh and new. 21 days into the 24-25 school year, the Harrisburg School District is thrilled to open the doors of this building to the public to see the remarkable work that has been accomplished here over the last 17 months. 3 years ago, in November of 2021, former Superintendent Eric Turman took me on a tour of this very facility, which had been boarded up and abandoned a decade before. As we walked the dark halls while navigating broken glass and debris on the floors, Mr. Turman shared his vision of restoring this building to educate elementary students who reside in Uptown Harrisburg, many of whom had to walk a distance to Ben Franklin School in Midtown. Returning to the neighborhood school concept to address overcrowding, where the majority of students could walk to school, was the vision shared with the elected school board members that you see seated here today. We embarked on this journey September 27th, 2022, when I granted approval for the renovation of Steele Elementary School, and we broke ground on May 10th, 2023. Now, almost 3 years from the time Mr. Turman first brought me into this building, we have arrived at our destination, this beautiful, state-of-the-art elementary school. For a financially distressed school district that is unable to borrow money for at least another decade, the renovation of this school was only possible through the award of millions of federal ESSER III dollars post-pandemic. The journey to completion of this project was not without its challenges. Demolishing older structures and building new is typically the preference of most architects and contractors. Experiencing unforeseen conditions made this restoration project an even greater challenge. Yet despite the obstacles, here we are today, proving that it can be done. Dr. Stokes, go ahead, you can applaud. Dr. Stokes has already mentioned the district administrators who have played a significant role in this project on the operational side, but I would like to take this opportunity to also thank the design and construction professionals whose hard work delivered this outstanding finished product. Jeff Straub of Crabtree, Rohrbaugh and Associates. Jeff? Jeff is our architect of record for the district. Justin West of Fidavia, construction manager. And I don't believe these folks are with us, but I'd like to also recognize Brian Imler, project manager for ECI Construction, our general contractor. J.R. Reynolds Incorporated, our plumbing contractor. Matchline Mechanical, our mechanical contractor. McCarty and Son Incorporated, our electrical contractor. And the numerous subcontractors who worked on this project for months. Finally, I would like to also acknowledge Dr. Marcia Stokes, our acting superintendent, for her leadership in guaranteeing the timely opening of this school. And also to Dr. Christy Thompson, our ESSER administrator. Dr. Thompson, would you please wave? For the management of the financial reporting to the Pennsylvania Department of Education for this project, which was extensive. I would also like to recognize the tenacity of Dr. Frances Echevarria, our new principal, and all the faculty and staff who exhibited patience and understanding as contractors continue to put the finishing touches on the building with the least amount of disruption to the school day. The beginning of any school year has its usual encounters, but this year presented a far more stressful opening with the project completion occurring just days before the school year was scheduled to begin. The resilience of our teachers and administrators has been remarkable, and we appreciate everyone's cooperation. Today, we are also pleased to welcome back to Steele 3 former Steele students to join with our current students in cutting the ribbon. I'm going to ask them to stand because we just kind of serendipitously found out that they attended Steele back in the day. Let's start with Kia Hansard. Kia, would you please stand? Dr. Tamara Willis. And Beth Light. For our young students in the room, may the presence of these very successful, supportive adults who received their elementary education within these same walls inspire you for your future. In conclusion, we are pleased to share with our community the celebration of this new learning institution. May the enthusiasm that we feel today carry well into the future as we educate our students to become the leaders of tomorrow. Unfortunately, our Mayor, Wanda R.D. Williams, was unable to be with us this afternoon, so it is my pleasure now to present Ms. Kirsten Keys, our Public Relations Coordinator, who is going to read the Dauphin County Commissioners' proclamation. Ms. Keys?
Thank you so very much, Dr. Suski. To Dr. Stokes, our Acting Superintendent, our School Board of Directors who are gathered here, to the esteemed administrators, faculty and staff, and students and families of Steele School, and to our audience and our community here today, I do bring you greetings. It is my honor to share the proclamation on behalf of the Dauphin County Office of Commissioner. We, the Dauphin County Board of Commissioners, are pleased and proud to join with the community at large in cutting the ceremonial ribbon, marking the completion of the renovation and restoration of Steele Elementary School, located at 2537 North 5th Street in Harrisburg. Whereas Steele was closed in 2011 and recently reopened in 2024-2025 school year, with the ability to serve nearly 400 students and families who reside in the uptown section of Harrisburg. Whereas the renovation project was made possible with funds from the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund, also known as ESSER, received during the pandemic, enabling the restoration of this beautiful 3-story school building. Whereas the expanded space will help to meet the district's growing student enrollment needs, providing a dedicated group instruction room, art, music, and special education classrooms, plus a dedicated cafeteria, kitchen, and more. Whereas Steele Elementary School will now have whiteboards and visual instruction boards, classrooms with updated technology and an updated ventilation, heating, and cooling system, new windows and doors that bring in more natural light, a new playground with updated equipment, along with new sidewalks and parking lots. Therefore, we join the 286,000 residents of Dauphin County in hailing the ribbon cutting of this transformative school building, embracing and supporting those who made this renovation possible, as well as the administrators, teachers, and staff who are dedicated to the students enrolled. And we do hereby gladly proclaim Tuesday, October 1st, as Steele Elementary School Restoration Day in Dauphin County. This proclamation is signed by the hand and seal of Commissioner George P. Hartwick III, Chairman, Commissioner Justin Douglas, Vice Chairman, and Commissioner Mike Preece, Secretary. I might also add that it is signed by Vincent Passe, Chief Clerk. Thank you so very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Justin West. I was the construction manager representing Fidavia, overseeing the Steele Elementary project. Seeing this building in March of 2023 excited me because I knew this was going to be a challenge. However, I also knew this project would have great impact on the neighborhood, community, and the Harrisburg School District. We are honored to play a role in this beautiful historic building built in the 1900s that has now been updated with today's modern technology and designs. From the groundbreaking to the ribbon cutting ceremony today, creating relationships, having effective communication, and working as a team are the foundations that got us to the finish line. I would like to thank the team of ECI Construction, McCarty and Son, Matchline Mechanical, and J.R. Reynolds for working so hard to complete this project, the architect Crabtree, Rohrbaugh and Associates for designing and assisting, and finally, thank you to all the members of the Harrisburg School District that had a hand in this project. On September 3rd, the smiling faces and generous remarks from parents, teachers, and students on the first day of school were a reminder of the beauty of construction, that the team's hard work and effort resulted in not only reopening of the beautiful historic building, return to the community and to the city of Harrisburg, but it also created an environment that fosters learning, growth, and creativity for many generations to come. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Justin. Is that on? Jeff Straub from Crabtree, Rohrbaugh and Associates. First, I want to Justin, for everybody to know, he was here day in and day out with the contractors, really managing between both the design team, the contractors, back and forth with the school district and the community, and that dialogue daily was critical for the success of the project. This wasn't an easy project. So we're all standing in a beautiful building, looks brand new, but remember today, this is a 110-year-old building. Building was originally constructed in 1914. So, and now we're standing in a building that's ready for another 20 or 40 years. And that was not where we were 3 years ago with this project. If there's a silver lining that came out of the pandemic, it was the ESSER's funding that made this project possible. But many of us that, as Dr. Stokes and Dr. Suski mentioned, Mr. Turman and the district's vision, as those dollars became available, the post-pandemic, bringing the entire team and the community into this building and saying, we're going to reopen Steele Elementary School and bring back a center to the community. We're not going to build a new building. We're not just going to do a modest renovation. We're going to really restore this building in its entirety. And we're also going to transform it into a 21st century school for education. So that means not just renovating the classrooms, but breakout spaces for small group instructions for the students. How are we going to have, previously, the kitchen took place back in that closet right in the corner of the building. So how do we add on to the building on a site that's very constrained to have a new cafeteria, kitchen, have a dedicated art classroom, music classroom, and then to take that to both the community, the administration, the school board, the receiver, and this is the vision, this is how we're going to execute it. So really, I think this building had been discussed for many years, but then bringing that design team on board for a year and then 2 hard years of construction. A lot of challenges, things that we discovered. How you built a building 100 years ago wasn't necessarily the best and a lot of unforeseen challenges. But with the historic preservation, you really bring back that core to the community. And we just want to thank, from Crabtree Rohrbaugh, everybody in Harrisburg that's had us involved. We love being part of your team. All the contractors that have been mentioned a number of times, whether it be the general contractor, HVAC, electrician, Fidavia. It really took an entire team to make this happen. And this last month or two, and I'm looking at some of the administrators and the staff and the teachers here at the building, it wasn't an easy transition getting this building open. But look at it today, and this is really going to be a core of the community for the next 20 or 30 years. So thank you, and it's wonderful to have the building open.
Ms. Keys, I think it's time that we bring forward our current Steele students and our former Steele students to do the formal ribbon cutting.
See? Okay. When Ms. Keys counts to 3, right? We're going to help Dr. Stokes officially cut the ribbon for Steele School.
You ready?
1, 2, 3.
Is what it is really all about. All of those smiling faces joining us for this celebration. And I just want to thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining us. It is a great day to be here at Steele Elementary School. I also want to encourage all of you to stay connected and support our schools, our teachers, and our students. We must continue to work together to ensure the success of our students, which in turn ensures the success of our future. I also want to thank our NJROTC Cadets and Miss Orange for their participation in today's ceremony. Immediately following this program, I want you all to join for a reception. So we have some food right behind us. And in addition, for those that are interested in really touring the school and seeing just how beautiful this space is, we have Mr. Reedy, Mr. Glass, and Mr. Nornhold available for guided tours. Thank you all so much for joining us today and for continuing to join us in the future. Have a great evening.